Self-discipline begins with one simple truth: you and only you are in charge of your actions. Too often, people blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck for where they are in life, but real progress comes when you accept full responsibility. When you stop pointing fingers and start looking in the mirror, you gain power over your choices. This is the foundation of unstoppable self-discipline, recognizing that no one else can push you to grow. It's entirely in your hands. Taking personal responsibility also means understanding that control over others is an illusion. You can influence people, but you cannot make them act according to your wishes. True discipline doesn't rely on the behavior of others. It thrives on the mastery of your own thoughts, actions, and reactions. When you realize this, excuses lose their grip, and accountability becomes your strongest ally. Every decision you make either builds or erodes your self-discipline. Waking up early, sticking to a plan, and doing what needs to be done when you don't feel like it are all choices under your control. You cannot control the market, the economy, or someone's opinion of you, but you can control your effort, your focus, and your persistence. That is where real power resides. Self-discipline is cultivated by consistently acting in alignment with your goals, regardless of discomfort. It's not about being perfect, it's about being committed. Each time you choose responsibility over blame, you strengthen your inner resolve. This daily practice shapes your character and creates momentum that is hard to stop. Ultimately, personal responsibility is freedom in disguise. The moment you accept that your life's trajectory is dictated by your actions, not external factors, you unlock limitless potential. Mastering yourself is the ultimate form of self-discipline, and from that mastery, everything else in life becomes manageable. If you want, I can also expand the remaining 9 points from your Function 3 list into similar structured paragraphs for a full video script. Small daily actions may seem insignificant at the moment, but they are the secret building blocks of unshakable habits. Every choice you make, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you are becoming. Brushing your teeth, reading a few pages, exercising for 10 minutes. These tiny acts, when repeated consistently, create momentum that compounds like interest in a bank account. The power of these small actions lies not in their immediate impact, but in their cumulative effect over weeks, months, and years. Consistency is the engine that turns small efforts into lasting habits. One day of discipline might feel like a drop in the ocean, but over time, these drops fill the reservoir of your character. Success rarely arrives overnight. It is earned in the quiet, unseen moments where discipline quietly stacks one action upon another. When you commit to these small daily victories, you are laying a foundation that becomes stronger with every repetition. The beauty of compounded action is that it eventually works automatically. Habits formed through consistent effort no longer rely on motivation. They become part of who you are. When you make a habit of excellence in small things, your life begins to reflect that excellence naturally. Discipline transforms from a struggle into a lifestyle, and progress accelerates without the constant need for forceful willpower. It's also important to track your small wins. Awareness of your daily actions reinforces the habit loop and gives you tangible proof of progress. Celebrating these minor victories keeps you motivated and reminds you that growth is the sum of repeated, small, intentional choices. Each day becomes an investment in your future, and each habit is a stepping stone toward mastery. Finally, remember that small actions are not trivial, they are powerful. The person who understands this truth harnesses it to create unstoppable momentum. By focusing on consistent, deliberate actions every single day, you transform fleeting effort into lifelong habits, and those habits, in turn, shape a life of discipline, success, and fulfillment. Motivation is like a spark. It lights the fire for a moment, but it rarely lasts. Relying solely on motivation is like trying to row a boat with one oar. You may move for a short distance, but you won't get far. Discipline, on the other hand, is the steady engine that carries you through when motivation fades. It is the bridge between what you want and what you actually achieve, turning fleeting desire into lasting results. The difference between motivation and discipline is simple. Motivation depends on feelings, discipline depends on commitment. You may feel inspired today, but tomorrow that feeling could disappear. Discipline keeps you moving forward regardless of your mood, energy, or circumstances. It is the unwavering force that ensures progress, even when excitement wanes or challenges arise. Discipline is built through repeated action, not by waiting for motivation to strike. Each time you push yourself to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, you strengthen the bridge between desire and achievement. Over time, these consistent actions create momentum, and your goals move from distant dreams to inevitable outcomes. When you rely on discipline rather than motivation, you free yourself from the tyranny of emotion. Motivation is unpredictable, discipline is dependable. By cultivating daily habits and sticking to your plan, you ensure that success does not hinge on fleeting feelings, but on steady, purposeful effort. Ultimately, discipline is the quiet hero behind every achievement. It transforms intentions into reality, dreams into results, and potential into performance. Motivation may get you started, but discipline is what carries you across the bridge to true success. Clarity is the cornerstone of self-discipline. Without a clear destination, effort can easily become scattered, wasted on tasks that don't move you forward. When you set precise goals, you give your mind and actions a target to aim for, and suddenly every choice has purpose. This is what fuels consistency. When you know exactly what you're building, you naturally stay on course. Clear goals act like a compass in the journey of life. They eliminate confusion and indecision, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. Instead of drifting from one task to another, you concentrate your energy on actions that align with your objectives. This focused effort strengthens your discipline because you're no longer acting randomly, you are acting intentionally. When your goals are well defined, measuring progress becomes easier. You can track milestones, celebrate small victories, and adjust strategies when necessary. This feedback loop reinforces discipline, making it easier to continue even when challenges arise. Clarity turns abstract ambitions into concrete steps, and concrete steps turn into consistent habits. Setting clear goals also energizes your mind. When you know what you want and why you want it, you create a sense of purpose that motivates action even on difficult days. Purposeful action is easier to repeat because it resonates with your values and vision, which is the essence of lasting discipline. Ultimately, clarity transforms discipline from a chore into a choice. When your destination is unmistakably clear, every action you take naturally supports your journey. Self-discipline no longer feels like a struggle. It becomes the logical path toward achieving the life you envision. Temptations are the silent enemies of self-discipline. They appear harmless at first. A quick scroll on your phone, an unhealthy snack, or procrastination disguised as rest. But each time you give in, you weaken your willpower and chip away at the progress you've worked so hard to build. The key to unstoppable discipline is not relying solely on willpower to resist, but proactively removing the temptations from your environment. By shaping your surroundings, you make the disciplined choice the easy choice. If you want to eat healthy, don't keep junk food in the house. If you want to focus on work, eliminate distractions like social media notifications or unnecessary tabs on your computer. The fewer obstacles between you and your goals, the stronger your self-discipline becomes. Removing temptations also strengthens your mind. Each time you remove a source of weakness, you are training yourself to act intentionally rather than react impulsively. Discipline grows when you structure your life so that good habits are the default and poor choices require effort to reach. This principle extends beyond physical temptations. Limiting exposure to negative influences, toxic people, or time-wasting habits is equally important. Your environment reflects your priorities, and by consciously curating it, you protect your focus and energy for the actions that truly matter. Ultimately, self-discipline is easier when you remove the friction of temptation. The more you design your life to support your goals, the less resistance you face, and the more unstoppable your momentum becomes. Discipline is not just about saying no. It's about making yes, the natural, effortless choice. Purpose is the fuel that drives self-discipline, and a strong why gives every action meaning. When you know exactly why you are doing something, challenges become manageable and obstacles feel less intimidating. Without a compelling reason, even the best plans falter. With it, discipline becomes almost effortless. Your purpose turns ordinary tasks into stepping stones toward a greater vision, giving your effort direction and energy. A strong why creates emotional investment in your goals. When your purpose resonates deeply, you are more willing to push through discomfort, delays, and setbacks. It transforms tedious or difficult tasks into meaningful work because every action is connected to something bigger than the moment. Discipline grows naturally when it is rooted in a reason that matters profoundly to you. Purpose also strengthens resilience. On days when motivation is low or distractions abound, a clear why reminds you of the destination, not the difficulty. It acts like a compass, keeping you on course even when external circumstances try to derail you. The stronger your why, the less likely you are to abandon your commitments. Your purpose must be specific, personal, and compelling. A vague desire like, I want to be successful, is weak compared to a focused reason such as, I want to create a secure life for my family, or I want to leave a meaningful legacy. The clearer and more emotional your why, the more unstoppable your self-discipline becomes. Ultimately, purpose transforms discipline from a struggle into a choice. When your why is strong enough, doing what needs to be done is no longer a question of willpower. It is the natural path you follow. Every decision, every action, and every habit aligns with your reason for being, making self-discipline not only achievable but inevitable. Growth never comes from comfort. It comes from stepping into the places that challenge you. Every time you resist the easy path and face discomfort, you are strengthening your character and expanding your capacity. The mind, like a muscle, grows stronger only when it is pushed beyond its familiar limits. If you stay in comfort, you stay the same, and stagnation is the enemy of success. Discipline is built when you learn to act despite resistance. Facing discomfort means doing what is necessary even when it feels unpleasant, inconvenient, or difficult. Whether it's exercising when tired, studying when distracted, or having difficult conversations when fearful, embracing these moments is how unstoppable self-discipline is forged. The more you expose yourself to challenges, the less intimidating they become. What once seemed impossible eventually becomes routine. This repeated confrontation with discomfort rewires your mind, creating a resilience that allows you to persevere when most people quit. Avoiding discomfort is a trap. It may feel safe in the short term, but it limits your potential and delays the results you seek. True growth requires leaning into the struggle, understanding that every uncomfortable step forward is a step toward mastery. Ultimately, embracing discomfort turns obstacles into opportunities. The path of least resistance never leads to greatness. Only by willingly facing challenges and pushing past comfort can you cultivate the self-discipline that makes extraordinary success possible. Progress is often overlooked, but it is the true engine of self-discipline. Too many people wait for big results to celebrate, and in doing so, they miss the daily victories that actually build momentum. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a signal that your efforts are working, and acknowledging these steps reinforces the habit of disciplined action. Rewarding progress keeps your mind motivated and focused. When you recognize the effort, consistency, and small wins, you create positive reinforcement that encourages repetition. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about persistence. Celebrating progress teaches your brain that consistent effort is valuable, making it easier to maintain long-term habits. Focusing only on results can be discouraging. Big goals often take time, and if you wait until the finish line to feel satisfaction, you risk losing motivation along the way. By rewarding progress, you turn the journey itself into a source of energy and inspiration, keeping your commitment alive every day. Acknowledging progress also strengthens confidence. Each small success proves that you are capable of following through, which builds self-trust. Over time, this trust becomes the foundation of unstoppable discipline because you know you can rely on yourself to keep taking consistent action. Ultimately, celebrating progress transforms discipline into a rewarding experience. It shifts your mindset from chasing distant outcomes to valuing the daily effort that leads to those outcomes. By recognizing and rewarding each step forward, you create momentum that carries you toward extraordinary achievement. You are the average of the people you spend the most time with, and that truth shapes your discipline more than you realize. If you surround yourself with undisciplined, distracted, or negative individuals, their habits will inevitably influence your own. On the other hand, spending time with disciplined, focused, and goal-oriented people creates an environment where self-discipline feels natural and expected. Your social circle acts like a mirror, reflecting habits, attitudes, and standards. When you are around disciplined individuals, you absorb their routines, work ethic, and mindset almost unconsciously. This doesn't happen magically. It happens because human behavior is highly influenced by observation and association. Being intentional about your environment also means seeking mentors, peers, and communities that challenge you to grow. Surrounding yourself with people who demand excellence from themselves and indirectly from you pushes your limits and raises your standards. Discipline becomes contagious, and striving to keep up with high achievers accelerates your own growth. Conversely, ignoring this principle can sabotage your efforts. Even if you have strong intentions, a poorly chosen environment creates friction and distractions that undermine your habits. Protecting your focus by choosing the right people to spend time with is as important as the habits you practice yourself. Ultimately, self-discipline thrives in the right environment. By surrounding yourself with disciplined, ambitious, and supportive people, you create a natural ecosystem that reinforces good habits. Your circle becomes a catalyst, and the collective influence of those around you helps make self-discipline unstoppable. Discipline is often misunderstood as restriction, but in truth, it is the ultimate form of freedom. When you master yourself, your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you are no longer at the mercy of impulses, circumstances, or the opinions of others. True freedom is not doing whatever you feel like in the moment. It is having the ability to choose the right course consistently, no matter how tempting it is to stray. Mastering yourself gives you control over your life. You decide how you respond to challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. This control is empowering because it means your success is no longer dependent on luck or external factors. It is determined by your habits, choices, and discipline. The more disciplined you become, the more options you create for yourself, and the fewer limitations life imposes. Self-discipline also frees you from regret. When you consistently do what is necessary to reach your goals, you avoid the pain of wasted time, missed opportunities, and poor decisions. Discipline is the shield that protects your future, allowing you to move forward with confidence, knowing that your actions align with your vision. Life bends in favor of those who are disciplined because they are reliable, consistent, and prepared. Others may react to circumstances, but disciplined individuals shape circumstances through their deliberate actions. By mastering yourself, you influence not only your own path, but also the way life responds to your choices. Ultimately, discipline is freedom in its purest form. It is the ability to live intentionally, act consistently, and create the life you desire. When you master yourself, nothing can hold you back, and every challenge becomes an opportunity to move closer to your highest potential.